Welcome to the Saskatchewan Sportsman. I'm Wilf Pyle, and today we're doing something different. We're at the Qu'Appelle Valley International Walleye Tournament, and my guest is Bill Graham. Bill, welcome to the program.
Thanks very much, Wilf.
I understand that this has been a long, ongoing tournament. Can you tell me some of the history behind the tournament, perhaps when it started and how long it's been organized this way?
This is the third year for this specific tournament, and it was organized by a couple of the local sportsmen from Fort Qu'Appelle, and they started out with the concept of bringing together serious walleye fishermen to the 4 lakes in this area. And it's a very unique tournament in that concept alone.
It's the number of lakes then that make the tournament unique.
It is, and the fact that on one day, one half of the field fish Mission and Katepwa, and the next day they switch and fish Echo and Pasqua lakes. So they're not learning the lake one day and then going back and learning from their experience. So they have to know 4 distinct bodies of water.
So that would mean then too different strategies?
Very much different strategies. Different strategies and different pre-fishing exercises, and it really is a unique tournament.
Do a lot of the fishermen come early and do much pre-fishing?
In all of these tournaments, you'll find probably 75% of the field pre-fish the water that they're working for a specific tournament.
Sounds interesting too. How many entrants this year, and is it up from other years?
There are 89 entrants, and yes, it is up from other years.
Now, typically there are a number of prizes given with the tournament. Can you just give us an overview of some of the prizes that are available?
Well, based on a full entry field of 100 teams, there would be $10,000 in cash prizes paid out to the top 15 finishers. And on top of that, Eagle Canada supply a $9,000 for the top walleye caught during the tournament. And the top female team member wins a Gore-Tex rain suit, and the top junior wins a rod and reel, as well as countless other giveaways that are generated from local sponsors and local businessmen and whatnot.
Just on the topic of sponsors, can you tell us who the sponsors are this year?
Well,
the major sponsors anyway?
The major sponsors are the Squire Hotel in Fort Qu'Appelle and Hillcrest Hotel and Great Northern Rod and Reel, as well as a lot of the local business persons who chip in and add their enthusiasm to the whole event.
Sounds good too. Now, I know that competitive fishing often means rules and regulations. Can I get you to explain some of the rules and some of the reasons for some of these rules?
Very much so. Each boat consists of 2 fishermen or fisher persons, and they've got a set time that they start on the day and a set time that they have to finish. And the start, the entire flight is put into the water, and then on a shotgun start, they all take off to the day. So they're right to the minute that they start at, and then they must be back on shore at a given time in the afternoon. And any late arrivals are penalized 5% of their weight for each minute they're late. So it's great if you're 5 minutes late and you have no fish. You don't get any penalty, but if you have fish, it's really tough.
It does hurt.
So that's kind of the umbrella rule. The other one is that each day you may bring 6 fish in for weighing, and the 6 fish must be at least 15 inches in length. Only 2 of them may be over 22 inches of length. And then out of that structure comes the cumulative 2-day weight, and whoever has the most weight wins. And then it may not necessarily be that the overall winner has the largest walleye.
Right.
The person with the largest walleye is awarded the Eagle 9000. And they may not necessarily be the champion.
So the tournament is based on total pounds caught.
On total pounds caught. Now there's a uniqueness to sport fishermen and sport fisher persons, and that is their conservation attitude. We encourage and we we demand that the utmost of care is taken with their catch. They must have a live well, must have some means of keeping those fish alive and supported by the time they bring it to the weighing station. When they bring it to the weighing station, they're handed over to the official scorer, who then puts them in an aeration tank, measures them. If there's any problem, they aerate them again with oxygen, and then live release them back into the fisheries.
And the fish are tagged too, as well.
The fish are tagged so that we know that those are they can only have tagged fish on their boats.
I noticed that many of the boats were inspected prior to being launched into the water. So this is part of the process then too?
They're inspected for, naturally everybody has to have a license,
right,
from the area. The next thing that we do not allow is any alcoholic beverages on board. Their live wells must be clean, and they cannot, of course, take any weight onto the water. Right. The other thing they can't do is two boats can't come together on the water, or there's a penalty there. Nor can they go ashore.
And this is because of the possibility of exchange and perhaps taking on weight.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. Makes good sense. You mentioned shotgun starts. I know that that's an exciting part of competitive fishing. Tell us a bit about that, why that's done.
Well, it's everybody wants to get to their spot first.
The result of pre-fishing.
The result of pre-fishing. Everybody got their spot, and they're really ginned up for it. So when you have all the boats out and they're all set to go at one time, they time their watch from the blast of that shotgun, and they know that they're going to have X number of hours to get back in. So it's the excitement of the start of the race. It's like gentlemen, start your engines.
Right.
Only we can't yell that loud to get this. But it's pretty exciting as far as the
good.
start.
Now, tell me about the entrants too. Are they generally local fishermen? Are they from out of province? Perhaps I see this is an international tournament. I would expect that some of our American friends are coming up as well.
There's a very solid mix from Manitoba, from North Dakota, Montana, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, and they're from all over the province. A good majority of these fellows have a little circuit that they go to, and they plan a couple of fishing tournaments in a row, or they plan 3 fishing tournaments during the year, and they make a holiday of it, and they really enjoy the camaraderie of the other competitors, and just the whole business of being
just
with the
being
other
out
people.
there and participating and contributing. That leads me into my next question too. Obviously there's a lot of organization required, a lot of attention to detail. How are volunteers selected? How are they organized? How do you manage to get this many people out helping and doing these kinds of things?
Well, Kelly from the Hilltop and the Hillcrest Motel, and Richard from the Country Squire in town have really done a tremendous amount of work, and they generate just local fellows that give of their time and their energies several months in advance to go to regular meetings and plan the events and work up with all the various equipment. The local fish culture station here is contributing this weekend by having aeration tanks, and they're doing a bit of a survey into how many fish are actually caught and how many are brought in for presentation in that slot limit for weights. So these people all have a vested interest in seeing the fishery grow and seeing the catch and release philosophy expand and enhance our fisheries. And that's really what these cutting edge type of events do, is push the limits of how to treat fish so that you can catch them and release them and catch them and release them, and they keep recycling through the whole sport fisheries.
That sounds good too.